Good afternoon, everybody. Joe from Joe's Colton Garage. Here with you on a freeway jaunt in the little Honda Civic. Yes, I still have this car. I sold the Volvo SUV yesterday, the one with all the problems. Can't believe it, but I did. I just threw it on Facebook Marketplace. I put one picture with it, and someone, I was flooded with calls, and I was like, look, it needs this, it needs that, it needs this, it needs that. They didn't care. They came. The guy that bought it didn't even test drive it because it was raining on us, and he was short on time. He said, I'm just going to take your word for it, and he gave me the money, and he left in it. I ain't heard back from him, so I guess he's happy. But the Honda I can't give away. You'd think this car would sell fast, but I think maybe the 5-speed manual is holding it back a little bit. But yeah, I'm driving from Atlanta to Chattanooga. I have a doctor's appointment, and I normally don't drive on the interstate much due to an accident that had happened years ago. I know I have lots of little freeway videos where I just drive up an exit or two, but very rarely do I sit down for a 60 to 100 mile drive. But anyway, so I figured I'd find something to occupy my time while I'm doing that. As you can see, it's raining. It's been raining in Georgia ever since the new year. I don't think it has stopped. I think we got like 13 or 14 inches over what we're supposed to have for the year. But anyway, I thought I would just get a little freeway clip of the Honda rolling down the interstate in the rain. So you guys enjoy, and we'll talk to you a little bit later. Word. Well, I'm on the return trip home. I didn't get any more footage driving up in the rain. Had a good doctor's appointment and a good visit with my family. So, me and my son played a little football in the yard, all soaking wet and muddy. And the wife slash ex-wife slash separated whatever the hell we are. We don't know what we're doing. But we're getting along good, so that's a positive thing. So anyway, now I'm just headed back. So I thought I'd just shoot a little more video of the 75-mile ride back home. And yeah, we're just cruising, baby. Just cruising. Now she's singing. Look at that. Holy cow. Man, I've had a lot of Honda manuals, but I've never had, let me think. I've had Honda Accord manuals. I don't know what generation this was, but it was the 1990 to 1993 body style. I had two 1990 coupes with a 5-speed, and they were both that kind of cranberry red color. Had two of those. And then I had a 93 EX 4-door coupe in that mauve champagne color with a kind of a burgundy interior, I guess it was, wasn't it that color? And it was a 5-speed. Now those cars would cruise 85, 90, and the RPMs would stay way down there. You know, they'd be around 3,200, somewhere in there. Now my 92 Honda Civic that I basically bought new. I bought it when it had 7,000 miles on it in 1993, I believe. It was a red 92 Honda hatchback with the little split tailgate. You know, the glass folds up and the tailgate folded down. That was the best design. I wish I'd had an SI. That would have been awesome. But it was a base model. It was called the CX. Had vinyl seats. It didn't even have a passenger side mirror. It didn't have a radio, and air conditioning was the only option it had. It was a 5-speed manual. Again, vinyl seats. It had dual airbags, or maybe it just had one because it was a 92. I took it and put a stereo in it, and put some speakers in it, and it had air, which was cold, worked good. But that car, it didn't have a tachometer. All it had was your speedometer, and of course your temp and fuel. But no speedometer. But no tachometer. But I will tell you this much. That car in 5th gear on the interstate, I mean, it would almost stall. The RPMs were so low. That car was built for fuel economy. Many times I would get on the interstate and find myself still in 3rd or 4th gear running 70 miles an hour. More 4th than anything. Because the 5th gear was so tall, you could only use it on the flattest surface, because that engine was the old, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was an old 8-valve, only like 70, 80 horsepower. It was very minimal horsepower. So it was spunky around town. It was not as quick as this car, because this car has, I think, about 120 horse. But it wasn't, it was okay around town, pretty spunky. But you got out on the interstate, you had to be on the flat interstate to use 5th gear. Because, your foot would just be you'd have your foot to the floor. That little bitty engine couldn't pull a hill. And it's because of the gearing. It was just so tall. So tall. I wish that car had a tack so I could have seen what 80 miles an hour in 5th gear was like. I bet it was 1,500 RPM. Oh man, that was back in the day. I loved that little car. I paid $7,000 for that car. It had 7,000 or 8,000 miles on it when I got it. It was a year old. Paid $7,000. Somebody desperate sold it to me, and they just wanted their payoff. So I think it was about a $10,000 or $12,000 car new. And they put down a good down payment. But yeah, I kept it until, I can't remember how many years I kept it. It was just a couple of years, but I remember how many miles. It had about 48,000 miles on it when I sold it. And I sold it for exactly what I paid for it, $7,000. So I basically drove that car for free, because I got such a good deal on it the first go around. But Anyway, enough of story time. I'll shut my big trap, and we'll get a little more freeway footage of the Civic. I don't know if I want to sell this car. I like this thing. Plus, it's good on gas.